I'm sorry about that. I was just telling everybody where you can sign in on the Google Doc. If you all have not found that link yet, if you go to the showcase icon, this yellow tag icon, the link will be there, and you can sign your name in the Google Doc. There's also a link there to the Padlet, and that's where you can put your questions, if you have questions on things I don't get to address here. Okay? All right. So moving on. First of all, which of you got to fill out the survey that I sent out before the actual training? So I sent it out, and I just did it to kind of see where everyone's at, to see the major issues I need to address here. So it's really helpful. And I'll kind of touch on how you can create one of these Google Forms if you ever want to do one of these for one of your courses or just really for anything. It gives you, it tallies the results in a spreadsheet. See if I can bring it up. Well, it tallies it two ways. It tallies it kind of like this and these graphs, which I really love. And it kind of told me that, you know, most of you say that you're extremely proficient in Google search and mail and the calendar, typical things, but where you're really wanting a lot of help on is when we get down here to groups and to add-ons and Google Plus and Hangouts. So those will be some things that I'll address. And then it does put them in a table, and I don't have that tab up, but that's the beauty of Google Forms. You can see it either way.
Did you sign in something? Did you sign in?
Okay, so one of the first things I want to address is Google Search. How many of you feel really familiar with Google Search? Like you feel like you're an expert in it? Some of us? Okay. So what if, you know, you needed to maybe find some research articles on the Chicago fire? What do you think would be the best thing to type in the Google search engine to find that? Any ideas? Chicago fire? Okay, so let's try that. Chicago fire. Okay, so we're getting a lot of TV shows on that. I'm not really seeing a whole bunch of research articles. So what if we did this? Let me show you some things you can add to your search engine to kind of narrow it down. So I'm going to add this, site:/edu, and that little thing right there will allow me to only search educational sites. Okay? So boom, we've narrowed it down more. Then I'm going to do this. I'm going to put Chicago Fire in quotation marks. Why would I do that? That will search for that exact phrase. You know, sometimes when you do a Google search, it picks words here and here on this page and that page, and they're not together in a phrase. This keeps it together. Then I'm going to say minus TV, minus show, and minus soccer, since there's a soccer team. So now, with these little minus signs in front with no space, it rules those things out of the search. So I don't have to worry about a million sites coming up with the Chicago Fire show. So that's good, since I'm looking for an article. Now let's search it and see what comes up. So now I'm only getting educational sites on the real Chicago Fire that happened in, what, 1871? So I'm getting what I need. So I don't really have time to touch base on all those little tricks you can do, but I have them here in the presentation. Let me just go back to it here. So like I said, quotations around a phrase will get that exact phrase. You can actually use an asterisk for a missing word in a phrase. So like if you wanted to search like lyrics to a song and you didn't know what word they were saying, you could just put that in that place. The minus sign, which I already showed you, so if you wanted to search Jaguar the animal and not the car, you would do Jaguar minus car. And so on and so forth. So there's all these little tricks here, and like I said, they're on the presentation, and you have that now through the Google Doc. I have these links in here. Right here, this blue one, Google Tricks article, and awesome list of 70 Google Voice commands. You guys have got to try that if you have not already. It is awesome. There's a flip a coin one that's really cool. Let's say you're having a class and you're giving your students a choice between maybe writing a final research paper or doing a research project, and they can't decide. You just go to Google and say flip a coin, and it flips a coin, and it's just, I don't know, it's fun. So there's a whole list. There's 70 Google Voice commands that you can do like that. So I encourage you to play with that. There's one other search that I want to show you, and it's in title, colon, and then whatever you are searching for, you want that to be in the title of what you're looking for. So let me show you that real quick. So let's say I'm looking for recipes on red velvet cake. That sounds good. Red velvet cake. Okay. So I'm looking for that, and let's say I only want recent recipes, so I would put a range in there, and this is how you would do that. You would say, you know, let's start from 2010 ... 2015. Okay, so let's search that and see what comes up. Okay, so these are all recent, 2010 to 2015 articles with the title Red Velvet Cake in the title. Those words in the title. Then I can narrow it down even more. Let's say I just want images because I just want to drool over cake. I can do that. And I can narrow it down even more than that. I can say search tools. And I can, specify it by color, type, usage rights, which is really helpful in some of your course if you're using different images. You can say, okay, I only want the pictures of red velvet cake that are labeled for reuse. And it will only give you those images. And so you can just keep narrowing it down like that. It's just really fun. You can just look at clip art. Color. It's pretty much going to be red, I would assume. So there's just a whole bunch of fun tools you can do like that. You can just search books on it, and it will just give you books on the velvet cake. So anyway, if any of you are hungry, that's what you can do. Okay, so Google search is really fun, and you can give these tips to your students as well, and that would help them in their research to do a little bit better. I mean, you really, ideally probably don't want them just going to Google search, but if they know these tools, especially the site:/edu, it's really going to help them just pull up educational sites instead of all that other junk. Google Plus. What is Google Plus?
Google's Facebook.
Yes, Google's Facebook. That's a great way of explaining it. It is the social network of Google. And that is how we do all of these trainings through Google Plus. And so I just want to go over just a couple tips about Google Plus really fast with you, about getting notifications and the Hangouts on Air. Actually, what I'm doing right now with the Hangout on Air, so let me just go to my Google Plus page. And it's connected to your SNU Gmail. So actually, let me start up there. SNU Gmail. Okay, this is your home page. You would go to this icon box. These little boxes are actually all the apps that you have. So you would open up your apps, and you would go to Google Plus. You could go here, or you could go your name plus sign. So either way will get you directly there. So now you're in Google Plus. And after you set up your profile and everything, if you go to settings, first of all, what you'll want to check is this very top line that says who can interact with you in your posts. If you want to get notifications about invite and you're in the invite circle, you won't get them unless this is checked over here. Some of us, when it's already set up, it's on only you and nobody can invite you to things. So make sure you go here, and you might put it on anyone or extended circles or Southern Nazarene University, but make sure that that is open so you can get notifications if you want them. Another thing is that we actually have a training circle or training group that I send out invites to every week. And if you're not in that group and you want to be included in that and get those invites directly, email me, mistyfoster@snu.edu, and I will add your name to that list. Or you can comment. You can comment on this event right here. So either way. If you go down here to receive notifications and look at events, sometimes the event gets updated when people comment on it and say they're attending remotely and things like that. And sometimes you're emailed every time, and you don't want that because that could be bothersome. So what you would do is you would just uncheck this email right here. And so, you just have to go in there and specify your notifications, okay? And just tell it what you don't want to get and what you do want to get. So, if you go to this Hangouts tab right here, this is how you would start a Hangout. There are two different types of Hangouts. There's a video Hangout. And has anybody in here ever done just like a video chat through Gmail or Google? That's basically what it is. It's just a video chat. But Hangout on Air is like a step up from that because it's live and it's recorded and it automatically uploads to YouTube, okay? And that's what I'm doing right now on this training. It's automatically going to be uploaded to YouTube, and I can send the URL out to those that miss the training. And the same thing with you all in your courses. I had a prof come to me that was, their course was always on the snow days that we were getting off these last couple of weeks, and so, their students are really behind in their course. Well, I'm sure the students don't like me very much because they don't have to be behind because of Hangouts on Air. The professor can still log in, still do their lecture. It automatically is recorded and it becomes a URL, and you just send that URL out to your students, and they can still watch your lecture and still do an assignment that's, correlates to that. So, that's an option. Hangouts on Air, like I said, is what I'm doing right now. Let me show you what it looks like.
So it records, it's like a screen recorder? Or? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So it can be both. Right now it's just a webcam, and so it's recording me, and you could just sit there and do your lecture, or you could do the screen share thing. That's what I've been doing these last couple minutes, and that's me sharing my screen. So you can do either one of those. And I'm not aware of a time limit on it. I think somewhere I saw 8 hours or something like that. But good Lord, I hope you don't really lecture that long. Your students are not going to like you very much. Another cool feature about this is you can interview people, sort of. See, these people down here are my participants. And if I wanted to, I could ask them to turn their cameras on, and we could video chat just like the regular video chat. But I would send them a special remote attendee link for that. Everyone else can just watch it, just like they're watching something on YouTube. So there's two different kind of guests for that. There's also this showcase feature. I mean, there's actually a million little things you can do with this Google Hangout, which is why it's so neat. But the showcase feature allows you to put a URL over here, and then those people that are watching it, it becomes a hyperlink on the side of the page, and so they can just click on that link and go to whatever website you're referencing. So hopefully the remote attendees can see that and can do that with us today. So, Hangouts on Air, really neat, uploads to YouTube. You can edit it to YouTube if you, want to cut a bunch of stuff out, then send it to your students. And, they don't really get a snow day. So that's one way around that. So let me go ahead and share the screen again so they can see what we're doing. All right. So that essentially is Google Plus. Now, if you want to create a group, let me actually click on Hangouts on Air so you can see how it started. You give it a name, description, give it a time, give it a duration, and that's where I think I saw the 8 hours or so on this. So it doesn't cut you off. These circles down here are groups that you are going to send it to. I have one made up for the, for the Friday training, and like I said, so if you're not getting an invitation and you want to be added to that group, just let me know, email me. You can set up groups for your students if you want to send them like a weekly lecture or something. You can. It's really easy. I'll show you how to do that. And then you just start the Hangout on air, and then you have to be sure to actually start the broadcast after you start it. So it's a two-step process. If you wanted to start a group, you would just come to this tab and go to People. It's a little slow. Okay, and then once you're there, say Your Circles. And a circle is just a group that you put together. So you just hit the plus sign down here, and you name it whatever, whatever your course name is, and you add a person, and you start typing in Gmails. And boom, they're added. And so when you create a Hangout, you just choose that circle, and that's how they get invited.
You have to have their email.
Yeah. You would need, now, some of the people that are already in Google Plus, if you just type their name and you don't know their email, like Gwen, she's going to pop up. So, but I don't know if all of your students have it set up in there. So you just have to.
Is there a limit number?
I haven't run into one because our ORC Friday training is pretty big, almost 100 people. So you shouldn't have a problem with that.
And Misty, I'll just say that this is the beauty of Google Plus, is that you can share things just with a circle.
Yes.
So like I have, kind of family photos that if I put it on Facebook, I'm thinking everybody doesn't want to see that. But I can share it with my family circle, and then it kind of keeps things private.
Yeah. So that's kind of why it might be a little bit better than Facebook in that aspect, because you post it, but not everybody can see it. Just does do. I guess you can kind of do that to an extent on Facebook, but anyway. If you want more step-by-step instructions on that, I've embedded this link here on the presentation, and it will walk you through how to start one of those and get it going. So it's right there. Here's a little freebie. If you ever want to make a tab permanent, there's just a little trick you do. You right-click on the tab and do Control and Pin Tab. Now, what I mean by permanent is if you're like me and you're doing a lot of work and you have like a million tabs open, but you really don't want to lose what you're working on. See these little shorter tabs? They're pinned, and so I can't accidentally click on them and close them right now. So what you would do is you would just right-click, pin tab, and now it's pinned. And I have to unpin it for it to be closable. So that's just a little freebie if you have a million tabs open. Google Gmail. All right, so there are a couple questions on doing a Gmail search. I'm going to try to hit on every one of these items right here, and just let me know if you have questions as I'm going along. So actually, if you go to your Gmail homepage, we've all done it. We've typed something up here and just searched for a certain email, right? Well, there's actually an advanced feature to this, and you probably know about it, but it's this little drop-down arrow, and then you can really specify exactly what you're looking for. But I didn't know this until recently. But when you do that, it's only going to search all of these items. It will not search your spam and trash. So to do that, you have to specify that. You have to say mail plus spam plus trash. And when you do that, you'll get a more inclusive search. So be sure to do that. Then there's a thing called labels, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. Labels, that's a really good way not to lose important emails. So are you guys familiar with labels, or do you want me to go ahead and show you kind of how you do it, or anybody need to know about labels? Okay. So then there's a thing called filters, which are really neat. You go back up here to this advanced search, and let's say, I already have labels set up, but labels, you still have to do man work. You still have to, once it comes in, you have to label the email, then you have to archive it. What if I don't want to do all that? What if every email that Gwen sends me, I just want it to automatically go in its place? Well, you can do that with filters. So let's say I just type in Gwen's name, every email from Gwen, I can specify it, I can say if it has certain words in it, you know, those types of things. Then say create filter. And what I can do is I can say every email from Gwen will have this label on it, receipts. And then I can even say it will skip my inbox and I'll archive it, mark as read. I can do all of those things, okay? So that's pretty neat. The only thing with that I would caution you on is, like it says, if you check the skip the inbox, you're not going to know it came in unless you're constantly checking that folder. So, but when it comes in, it will automatically have that label applied to it. You don't have to, you know, go into all those emails and apply all those labels. So that's kind of a neat deal. You can do a lot of things here. You can have it automatically delete it, never send it to spam.
Why not? She won't be hearing that.
So just play around with it and just see what your needs are. Canned response is a lot of fun. This is for the absolutely laziest people in the world. Are you familiar with, does anybody not know what a canned response is? It's okay if you don't. It's like something new to me. But, okay, so a canned response is if you want to send an automatic reply to somebody. Like someone's always, any email that comes in that says, you know, they forgot their password, you'll send an automatic reply to. How you would do that is, this will be the last step. So let me show you the first step. The first step would be to go to your labs, and you'll do that over here through settings, labs, and make sure you enable canned responses here, okay? Amongst the other things, there are all kinds of cool labs that you can use with your Gmail. These are just little fun, they're almost like apps that you can attach to your Gmail that just make it easier, make it more fun, more smooth to use. So the canned responses, make sure you enable it and save it at the bottom. Then what you would want to do is compose your canned response, you know, something like, you know, whatever, thank you for your reply, blah, blah, blah. So you go down to this bottom arrow, canned response, new canned response. We're going to name it whatever you think is appropriate. We'll just call this one thank you. Okay, so now I have that set up. So now I can go up here and I can filter it and I can say, boy, that Gwen keeps emailing me. Every email from Gwen, you know, that might say review in it or something, I'll create a filter for, and I will give it a canned response, choose the one I have set up, and bam, it's done.
Do you have to hit create filter?
Yes. Yeah.
So you could do this, so like if I have a Google form set up for applications, then I could put it, whatever the Google form sends me as the subject, then I could automatically send that out to the student, thank you for your applications, and contact you.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? And what I've recently done is, let me go back here, Google Plus, I have my notification set to where if any of you guys comment on the Google Plus event, I get an email. Well, what I've done is I've said from Google Plus, okay, any email I get from Google Plus, I'm going to put it in the training folder. So I'm not going to do a canned response, but I'm just going to put it in a certain folder, okay? So I have everything that applies to my trainings in one place. So that might be something, you know, you want to do. You know, if you don't want all those notifications, but you're scared you might miss something, you can have them placed all in one folder and then just check it weekly about the weekly trainings or something like that. So, all right. Let's see, what was the next thing on email? Labels, filters, canned responses, groups. Okay, so do you guys need me to touch on groups? Creating a group? Do you do a lot of massive emails to groups of people, or I'm sure you're all very familiar with it, but what you would just do is right here where it says mail, go to contact, and you would just type the email addresses here of all the people. Sorry, Gwen. Okay, I'm going to use you and everything. So I just type all their names right there. Then I would check all the different people I want in this group. Hit the group icon, name it, create new, give it a name. ORC, something like that. Now I have a group. So now when I switch back to my email, let's say there's a group of students in my class or just a committee I'm on, and every time I email them, I have to sit there and remember every email of every person. Well, this is the way you don't do that. You just do ORC, there's my group right there. It's going to include everybody's email, so that's nice. I like that.
You know what I've done? That sometimes it comes up with people's name and like all their emails that are in the system. Then I have to unclick.
Yeah.
Is there a way to not have all that show up?
I have the same issue. That was a question that I had.
I would say other than putting that specific person in the group you want, I don't know how to not do that. Yeah.
Well, I have them in a group, and I pull up the group. When you pull up the group to send an email, it just gives everybody's address, but they will not automatically go into the address. I have to click on each address to get in. That's the same thing you're saying,
Yeah,
right?
it'll like show up 3 different addresses for them, and they'll all be listed.
So like you did a group like this,
I created the group already, and it did that?
because you're telling
I've
the
never
group
done that.
what email you want.
I think if I go to the 2, if I click on the 2 and find the group, I think it does that.
See, like I'm clicking on Gwen, and it just did the email I told it
Right,
to put in there.
that's what mine has done.
There's a time that it does, I don't know if it's when I go to where the mail and then go to contacts there, but I think it's when if I open a new message and then click on the 2, then it comes up with the group, and then I'll click on it and those names are the like mail.snu and then snu.edu, you know, everybody has those. So you have to unclick it.
Okay, and so do you all know how to add an account? I think you probably know how to do that. You can either forward it, like if you have a personal Gmail account, and you want to just check one Gmail. You don't want to check your SNU and your personal Gmail. You can just forward it to one. But with filters, you can actually just forward certain emails to that account, not all of them. So that's kind of neat. So, like if I just want to send her emails to my personal account, and not everybody's from my SMU account, then I would forward it to my forwarding address right here, and it would only do those emails. So that would narrow down what I'm getting in that other account.
So if you reply or something, which address will it show that you're?
You tell it right here. There's an option, because I've done mine, and let's see. Mine, well, I haven't added another account to this one because I can't, because it's our departmental one. But when you have 2 connected to it, it will ask you which one do you want in the reply box, and you can choose. So I like that. You can also do this. You can click on your icon on the top right where your picture is, and you can say add account, and that's what I do. And the reason why I do that is because I like switching back and forth and keeping everything separate. But that's just me. I'm just OCD like that. I don't want them all mixed together in one inbox. So those are 2 separate ways you can do it, really. Okay. Calendar. Okay, calendar is really fun. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do with it. So every calendar event you create has a Hangout. So let's say you're here, and you get to your calendar, so your apps icon, go to our calendar. So let's say I click here, that's how we create an event. I'm creating it. Oh, I want to edit it, sorry. Edit, event. It automatically created this Hangout here. So everybody I invite over here on this email list, they can always come back to this event at this time, click there, and we have a video chat going. Okay, so that's neat. SNU allows us to have that on our calendar events. There's also these notifications down here. You can add up to 5. I'm sure you've all done that, and you can do pop-ups or emails, so that's cool. But something you may not know about is over here on the right are labs that you can add, and they're kind of like those apps that I referred to earlier in your Gmail. And I have one called Free or Busy, and it's really great because I can just type in anybody's name, and I can see if they're free or busy during this event this time. And I don't think I even, okay, yeah, I just automatically said today at 6:30. So if I type in her name, it tells me that she's busy during this time. So I know, don't send her an invite or change the date of the event, okay? So that's a cool little feature. Then I have this thing over here called Next Meeting, and it will tell me how many hours, how many minutes until my next meeting, which is neat.
How did you get to that?
So these are like apps that I've installed. So let me show you how I got there. Once you're in your calendar, we'll go back to the main page. Once you're there, you'll go to Settings. And actually, you can just go to Labs right here. This Labs right there. These are all the fun labs that you can add to your calendar. And just make sure to enable and save at the bottom. So I have enabled one that's called High Morning and Night, because obviously I'm not going to be attending any meetings with any of you at midnight, so I just hid that from my calendar. So it's not necessary. There's also a couple automatically declining events. I haven't enabled that yet, but you know, that way you don't have to say no if you already have something booked. You know, it just will take it out of there for you, so you don't have to worry about it. What was another one? Background image for your busy, the one I showed you. Next meeting was the other one I referred to. I think there's one where you can add an attachment to your email. So if you're creating an event, yeah, right here, you can actually add an attachment, spreadsheet or whatever.
To the event.
It's not like a general notification.
So, like, you know, you can tell everybody to review this document, you'll discuss it at the meeting, and then it's just all bam right there in one place.
Is there
So,
a limit on how many we can send it to? You know.
well, it's just attached to your event, so it would just be whoever you send it to in that event. And I don't think there's a limit on participants. I don't think so.
And what does next meeting do again? I'm sorry.
Next meeting just gives you a countdown until your next meeting on your
Oh,
calendar. So it'll tell you, like, in 5 minutes, your next meeting is coming up. So I have had a lot of fun with those. So yeah, so you get to that through labs on your calendar. Also remember that there's labs on your Gmail as well. So there's fun things you can add to your Gmail. Okay. So
One of the things that I have done, and I've seen that for your busy lab makes it maybe a little easier, but not, is when I was trying to set up like a meeting wizard or something with several people here on campus. And granted, a lot of people don't use the Google Calendar, but I would just go in then say to create an event and put those names in for the emails and then click on find a time. And so then it lists everyone as far as if the calendar is shared with me, it gives what it is, but if it's not, then it says busy for that, and then it has a star by the ones that don't have the Google Calendar at all. And so then I can look at a week or a day and say, okay, well then if I do this meeting wizard, then I know that this time isn't going to work. And so it makes it a little bit less complicated for the meeting wizard.
absolutely. Yeah. And then those people can't lie and say they're busy.
Yes. Unless they have to everything out of time.
That's true. That's true. We'll give them the There's one other thing. Is appointment slots, and I really like this one. You can actually send a slot of times you have available. Let's say you're, interviewing students, or HR, you're interviewing people, and you have multiple interviews to do, and you let them book the times on your calendar that you're free. So let me go back to the calendar. So you have to be in either day or week view to do this. And what you do is you just highlight the block of time, that you want to give them, say appointment slots. Oh, I don't think I've set it up for this one yet. Okay, so here it is. This is what it will look like. Give it a title, let's say, I don't know, we'll just call it interviews. You can offer it as a single slot, or you can 30-minute increments, or hour increments or something like that. And so every hour, it has an opening, and they can choose which hour they want to be booked on that. And so what you can do is you can email them this, or you can simply take this URL and send it to the people that you want to send it to. So you can do it either way, really. So I thought that was neat.
It only works on one day or the same times multiple days, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've tried it for multiple days. Let's go back and see if it will let us do that.
Yeah, it seems like when
I
I've
don't
done
think
this
it will.
before, that
You
was
have
the
to
thing.
just-
Or you could set it up to where it'd be like 8 to 12 every day, but you couldn't do like 8 to 12 Monday, 2 to 3 Tuesday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to give separate time slots for
Right.
each day, yeah. You know, so maybe they'll work on that, maybe that'll get better, but,
There are other things out there that will allow you to do that.
that will allow
that are not
so-
Google.
other apps. So, so that, you know, that was kind of neat, and then they just, then when you go look on your calendar, you'll just see different names booked in there, and so you don't have to worry about going back and forth on email with people. So, okay. Let's see, Google Drive, okay. This will allow you to say goodbye to your flash drive. I know I have. How many of you still use your flash drive? It's okay. Google Drive's amazing. We use it so much in our department and our online courses. It's basically, you know, storage. And here at SNU, you have unlimited storage, so use it. It's great. So Google Drive is where you find your Google Docs and your Google Spreadsheets and your Google presentations and all of that fun stuff. That's where it's housed. So let me, I'm sure we all use it, but just in case, you just go to it again through this apps box. Here we are, and create, I can create a Google Docs, presentation, spreadsheet, form, etc. I can do it all right here. And I can put it in different folders and all that fun stuff. The beauty of this is that you can reach it anywhere on any computer. You don't have to just be in the offices here at SNU to get to a work document. You can work from home on snow days. Don't tell your boss that. You can also use it offline. If you go right here to more and offline, you can use the offline mode, and then the next time you get back on, it will sync all the work that you've done to it, which is great because I know Gwen this last week was on an airplane. She needed to do some work, so she just used the offline mode, and so it was still accessible to her that way. So it's great. I love it. You can also upload documents that you've already written, say, you know, in Word or Excel, and upload them here and turn them into a Google Doc, or keep them like a PDF. So you can put those documents here. So going to Google Docs here. I know you probably all know what it is, but for those of us that have never used Google Docs, it's basically an online word processor, very similar to Word, and it's real time. It's instantaneous results. It's collaborative. You know, it's great for collaborative projects for your students because, for one, they all have it. They all have SNU Gmail. It's not another application they're going to have to use or a website they're going to have to go to. It's something that they already have. So I had this Google Doc that I wanted you all to go to, and I see you've all been so great. You've signed your names on it. So that's awesome. Thank you. So this is a Google Doc. And as you can see up here, a lot of the same functions that you would have in Word, format, tools, table, all of that, it's the same. It's not a big leap if you're used to Microsoft Word. I actually prefer it over it these days because there's just so much more you can do with it. You can embed links and, you know, and then bam, everyone that has access to this document can get to that hyperlink. How do you share it? Well, you go up here, this blue box, share. Right now I have anyone with the link can share. And make sure you click on Get Shareable Link. It's probably going to be gray until you click on that, and then it will turn green. You might choose Advanced. And here you list everyone that has access to this document. Now, right now, I have anyone who has the link can edit, but I can change that. And I can say, I just want people at Southern Nazarene to be able to see it. I can make it public on the web. I can specify just specific emails it goes to, and just, you know, just 3 people have access to it. I can do all kinds of things. Right now, everyone can edit it, but I can make it to where you all can't edit it, and you can just view it. So that's great for online courses if you wanted to maybe create a rubric for an assignment. You could create it here, but you would put it on view mode because you don't want your students editing the rubric. That would be awful. But the reason why that might be great is because when, let's say, you finish that online course and you realize, okay, I need to make some changes to the rubric. I need to be a little bit more specific on that assignment and what I'm looking for. You just go to this one place in Google Docs and update that rubric. You don't have to really do anything in Moodle. You don't have to go to all. You could have one rubric for 5 different assignments in Moodle and update it in this one place. And it's really, it's not a hassle at all. So that's why we like Google Docs a lot here. If you were to use, a PDF or something like that in your Moodle course, you're going to have to totally redo all of those assignments and upload it again, go through that whole process. So Google Docs are great. Here's a couple little tricks. You might know them already, but if you go to File and let's say See Revision History, let's say, you gave a group of students an assignment, but you feel like, hey, I just feel like this one student really probably didn't make as much effort as the others. You can go to revision history and see exactly what they did. You can also do this, with anybody, a group of coworkers or something. So you just click on it, and you can restore to that revision. Let's say after this point, there were a bunch of errors made. You can go back to that point. So that's really neat. I like that a lot. You can also go to Tools, and you can go to Research. If you're writing a research paper, you can type up something you're searching right here. By the way, you can choose to get quotes on it, dictionary, scholarly books or articles on it. So if I type that in, it gives me a whole bunch of scholarly articles, and then I just say Insert. I've chosen MLA format, and bam, I have my citation. So, kind of neat. I don't know if you want to tell your students about that. I don't know. But
Here's much work is what they have.
I'm going to hit this back here also. I don't erase anything. Okay. So, that's kind of neat. What else? Here's some other little things. Import a Word document. I've already showed you where you can do that on that first screen of your Google Drive. You can actually, if you go back here and let's say you need to make some editing, but you're scared you don't want to erase something that somebody else put because it's going to be instant and everyone's going to see it, you can just use the comment box up here and just make comments, and then let everybody in the group decide if that editing needs to take place. You can do that, and you can work offline. So I've kind of hit on all of those. Okay. Google Sheets. This is just pretty much like Excel, but except you can do a lot more. You can, like I said, you can import Excel spreadsheets you already have. You can do real-time chats with people that you're working with. So let me go into Google Drive and show you a spreadsheet here. So, it will do the math for you like a calculator. You just highlight everything you want it to add or whatever, go to the function here, choose, sum, and it's going to ask, okay, this range right here, you say yes, and it does the math for you, so it's great. There's that. It's almost just like Excel, so it's great. But there's also add-ons, which are like apps for your Google Docs or your Google Spreadsheet. They both have them. So let's say I want all my employees to do employee timesheets. I would just use this template gallery add-on, browse templates, and I don't have to create something from scratch. I think I downloaded it here. Let me go back up there, template gallery, browse templates, see what comes up here. There's all different types. So you do not have to reinvent the wheel here. Timesheets. So here's one. I can go with this. And, I can share it You can share a timesheet just with your employer and you're the only two that see it, and your employer can, or your supervisor can see, all the updates you do to it. So it has the same share feature just like Google Docs. It's great. So that's pretty much Google Sheets. Okay, Google Slides. I'm actually doing this presentation in Google Slides, and I just realized it's 1:50, so I'm probably going to skip over some of these. All of the Google Docs are pretty much the same. Google Slides is just like, almost like PowerPoint. That's what I did this presentation in. You can save it as a PDF or a PowerPoint when you're done with it, so that's neat. Then there's Google Sites. You can create your own website. Very neat. I've done that for several things. How you would get to that is, again, through this apps box right here. And just go to Google Sites. And it's going to completely walk you through the process. I have a couple here that I've created. You just start with Create. It has themes that are already in there. You can put all kinds of links and pictures and create your own site. And you can give as many people access to that site as you want, or you can make it public, or you can make it private. It's just like a Google Doc, basically. So here's a site I created, and it's a functional website, and I just, it has links in it and everything. So neat tool. You can do that for some of your courses. I know for one course I'm working on with a professor, they wanted a glossary, and so we've just created a website of the glossary. And so in Moodle, for that week in the course is just the URL. So if they ever update that glossary, they just do it right there on the website. They never have to change the URL in Moodle or anything. So it's good. All right.
So I can get rid of Microsoft.
Google Forms, same thing. That's the survey I sent you. You find it right here. Again, this app box. Where's my Google Forms?
Under Create.
Did you see it?
It's on the
left side of the Create form.
Okay. Yeah. So if you go to Create Google Forms, you basically can just entitle the form whatever you want it to be, send it to whomever you want, make multiple choice questions, check boxes, scale, grid's what I did on the survey I sent out to you, a paragraph, add as many of those as you want. It has all these fun themes that you can choose from over here, and it will put all of the responses into a Google Sheet. And so I haven't named this or anything, so it's not going to pull it up, but it will automatically put it into a spreadsheet. So I like those a lot. Very fun. All right, so some of the last things really quick, I know we're running out of time. Again, you can put your questions on that Padlet that I shared with you through the Google Doc right here. So if you have any questions, you can put them right there. And let's see, add-ons. Those are, like I talked about briefly, those are in your Google Docs and your Google Spreadsheets. Those are those little fun apps that you can add to it. Like bibliographies, it'll automatically, cite the reference that you put into it. There's one GMath, and it will give you all kinds of math equations. It's kind of like a whiteboard. It's great to give to your students to use in a collaborative assignment. There are apps, and apps are usually, or they're basically rather, everything that is in that little black box on your Gmail homepage, like your calendar, Boomerang, Cuckoo. Boomerang is, go back to my Gmail here. Boomerang is this little boomerang icon right here. So whenever you compose an email, you would just basically, oh, it's not going to pop up because this little thing right here. Well, there's a thing underneath this that says send later. And let's say I'm writing an important email, but I want it to be sent tomorrow because I know I'm not going to have access to my computer tomorrow. With that app, I can just tell it to send at any specific time in the future, and it will send at that time. So Boomerang is a neat feature there.
You click on Boomerang, and then
it has it under this blue thing. It has a red thing that says send later, and you can't see it because this thing is in the way. Let me see if I hide it. Yeah. Yeah, right there. So you say send later, and then you just choose a specific time, and it will send it that date. So if you know someone's more attentive to their inbox at a certain time, you can play with that. So how do you get
Somebody said they were sitting at like at 2 a.m. so their boss thought they were working all night.
Yeah. But how you find more of those free apps like that is you just click on that little icon, app box, go down here to Apps Marketplace, and it will open up, and there is just a whole world of free apps that you can add to your Gmail that will do little tricks like that. So they're great. The last thing are extensions, and I'll be really quick. Back here. Extensions. Those are actually added to your Chrome browser. As you can see, I have some up here. These are all extensions up in this top right corner. These will be, and they will work with whatever web page or website you're on. So they're not really connected to your Gmail per se, or your Google Doc per se, like the other ones I just covered, but these are on the browser. So a great one that we're using right now is Padlet. That's the pad I have right here. Okay, so that's an extension. You could use that for your students. It's great because if you're having a class and maybe the silent students won't ever raise their hand, won't ever speak up, you have one of these, they can type an anonymous question up there. They don't have to put their name, and they can still have a voice in your class. So that's good. That was an extension. Screencastify is an extension. It's great. And what it is it's a screencast tool, and it will automatically upload to your Google Drive or YouTube. Okay? So you can do a whole, I think there's a 10-minute limit on it right now, but we're looking at maybe getting it for all of SNU on your Chrome browser, but you have to have your Chrome browser up on your desktop to have it, and maybe getting something that's past 10 minutes. But you can do, like I said, a screencast. You choose desktop, and you can say embed webcam at the bottom. I don't want to mess with that because I'm doing a Google Hangout, and it's going to switch the camera, and I don't want to mess with that. But, or cam, and it will just record you, your face, or your screen. So you have that choice of either one. And like I said, you can save it in Google Drive. Unlimited storage. So, I like that a lot. I have a couple others up here, but I think for sake of time, I'm just not going to be able to touch on. Here's their description in the Google presentation. And let's see, I think Gwen had a question. To enable Google Docs offline mode, do you first have to install Drive on your computer? Did you have it installed on your computer, Gwen, when you did that? Mm-hmm. No, I don't think you, I don't think you have to. I would just say try it without, I think it will prompt you if it's going to be mandatory and you have to install that on your computer. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you is this, support.google.com. Any Google question you have at all, type this in and it will answer it, okay? That, and I'm always here to help, so. So let me go ahead and do the random number and see who wins our fabulous prizes today.
Is it cookies on there?
Yeah. 1 through 20, and we're going to have a couple of them. Hi there. So did we play with the gifts for today?
Your gift of choice, we have a wireless water-resistant speaker, a iPad cover, and we're only going to get 2 of these, or a power pack to recharge your iPhone.
The number is
or
12 for the first.
So he's 12.
So 12 on the Google Doc is Marcy.
Which one? iPad or speaker or the
Trying to use saying.
The second number is 5. Who is 5? Gwen Hatchler.
Must be present to win, right?
Present.
It's
present.
out there.
You need to ask her which one you're going
I need to do that.
Oh. repeat the
Okay,
name.
so if you all wouldn't mind filling this out for us before you leave, and I will be here if you have specific little things, questions.
On the
I type
Google
my
Chrome,
instructions.
is that something that has to be installed separately from the Google or the Google
And
Plus?
then I have to have URL.
Yeah, it's a
for that.
freeware browser.
But is that something you've got to get IT or somebody to approve, or can we just submit it through?
So when I go into Google Drive, it's
No,
just
it's
documents.
just like it's only fire truck.
Yeah. Page, change part of the assignment, I just
They
do
were
it
the
automatically.
Yeah.
Get moved because I'm.
Right.
Now, I do that in,
That's what we're doing like
What
all
I've
our
been doing
rubrics now, it's
more.
great. So we can change the rubric and boom.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, I
That's AG.
know, I know.
so that